Well, good afternoon, class. This is Dr. Nona James with Abilene Christian University, CONR 603 Negotiation and Principles and Practices. Coming in at the end of the week just to say hello and see how everyone's doing. I'm always happy to receive the emails. I appreciate those that have connected with either health issues, personal concerns, or questions you've had about the course material. And I do appreciate that thoughtfulness, because some of the questions that have been presented have been valuable not only for those that I've responded to, but I believe everyone else in the class. So be sure and take a look at the announcement for clarification for Module 2 assignments. I know one of the questions was, do you have to have a different scenario with each of the theories, or could you use the same scenario for the two different theories? And I'm fine with whatever you choose to do. Just make sure that when you are addressing those theories that you follow the prompts that are in the instructions as to what you're to do. The more you input in it, the more you're clear. Use your prompts as far as the instructions and the rubric as your checklist. And if you account for all of that information in the responses in your papers and the assignments, then I'm going to do my very best to provide all the points that possibly can be earned for that. So that's assignment. That was assignment 2. The theories, your scenarios, your lived experiences, as you want to say. They do have to be an actual experience. I know when I presented or even shared with the previous class, just as an example, I use, as I mentioned to you all during my last video about the car, the purchase of the car and how I negotiated. And then all you're simply going to do is apply a theory example to something like that. So it's your experiences that you've had in the past. And be mindful that as you share, you want to also, I know that someone mentioned about the names, the use of names by those that were part of that relationship or that discussion, and do you use them? I am a big proponent of preserving people's privacy, so you could either use initials, SM, this person, SM, aka man or woman, or if it was gender related, or S1, respondent to, so something like that. But I'm a real advocate of using pseudonyms or make-up names. You can even have Chip or as long as it's decent, but something that identifies that person if you do not want to use their real names. Some people, it doesn't matter. I'm an advocate of privacy. So, and part of that's coming because of my experience with Institutional Review Board of Human Subjects. And I'll talk about that in another video, but there's some value to that. So see my announcement, and it explains some things, kind of step by step there. So that would be for assignment 2. I didn't put in the previous email, my traveling email that I sent to you, or announcement, but there is also the assignment 3. And yes, you will have that as submitting for this week to assignment 3. You have the information on Philip at the plant, and then you have your case studies. It would be the first case study for assignment 3, module 2. That is also due this week also. So those are a couple things I wanted to share with you. The other is, I cannot stress enough, and some of you that have had me in previous classes know I pounce on this and you hear it every semester, but please, please be timely with getting your assignments. And there are some times that there's no option of a situation or circumstance. Be mindful of the policy for excused assignments or excused work, late work, and how the point factors work as to the system. Every day you're late, there's a percentage of the points that are deducted. So just be sensitive to that. I'm from the perspective that if there is an emergency, example, I had a student once, they had a fire, everything was destroyed, and there were some injuries. Um, in that case, the person, even what they had to work on, I mean, they were in crises. Naturally, I'm going to extend some sense of consideration as far as how the work is submitted or the timeliness there. Um, in other cases, though, I've had a person they decide, hey, I've not had a vacation in 3 years, and I'm going on a vacation, and can you excuse my work because I'm going to be flying, and on the beach, and I'm like, you know what? No. I can just simple, and I'm not trying to make light of it, but just a matter of there's still options that you're able to get that work done, even in between flights. Example, I was traveling this week, and truth be told, I got work done for the class, in preparation for guiding y'all. So it can be done. I have worked a number of times in my hotel room. As soon as plane lands and I'm getting things done, I think that option is still there. So I just am, even though I'm making a little light of it, I don't mean to, but just trying to put it in perspective of someone that really is in crises, they've been hospitalized, loss of a loved one, natural disaster. Understandably, I being an extension of the department and or a steward of the department, I am going to do as best I can, and if it's something that I need a second opinion on or a decision, be mindful, I'm going to consider that. So I just wanted to really make that clear, but please do your best to meet me, and then we will make some discernment as to what can be done. There's other situations that are case by case, and we'll work through those as we go about. So the other is plagiarism. I want you also to look at the link. I'm going to send you these links in the announcement. Policy, it's not even policy, but it's just a matter of violation of plagiarizing copyright material. It is important that you give credence to those that is other people's work as they would your work. I've also had the discussion come up, and Dr. Fleming also has communicated on this. I'll see if it was in an email or a link. If not, I'll try and extrapolate as much as I can from her email communication to us as faculty. But there's been concern as to, can a student pretty much take something collectively from work they've done in a previous class, or they've dropped and they want to, hey, I didn't complete the class, but I got this work, but it's in the system already and it's identified as plagiarism if it comes up 100% because it's your work. But be mindful, you have to still give identity that that's your work, and when you did it. So it's not to say you can't, but let's say there's been a previous discussion, even when we get further in the class and you want to refer to example your assignment 2 that we're talking about, you'll just reference that. And if you use the APA manual, you'll see how to do that. If there's any questions, I'm available, as well as the writing lab. At this point, I don't think we have a lot of issues with writing. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be looking at the content. If I get to a point where there is a lot of errors when it comes to the mechanical, grammatical, organizational structure of a paper, I'm going to be difficult on that, because at this point, as graduate students, postgraduate students that we have, doctoral, those things should have been resolved much, much prior to where you are right now in the program. So, but I haven't seen a lot of those issues that have been overt. So I'm looking forward to looking at what you're submitting. But it's the content that I'm going to spend my quality time, the amount of time on, and ensuring that you are garnering and gathering the information in relation to the topic we're discussing, negotiations. So in that, I hope everyone had a good first week. I did see some of the videos. Remember, I was traveling this week. I try to get everything done no later than Sunday night. You should be seeing your feedback and grades on the discussions in the next 48 hours between tomorrow, this time tomorrow and Sunday. And then hopefully I'll have all of your papers graded by Monday. I try to get those done, the papers, as soon as possible so that it gives you time to adjust on your next assignment that you have to do, or glean from what you learned and then apply those things so you're not making the same errors. Be mindful if you have any questions at all. Remember that I am available, um, Canvas email. And if you really need to talk to me, then just email and we can set up some contact if it means, phone time to communicate with you. If it even means Zoom, I think there's even a new feature in Canvas that we can talk FaceTime like this, and I may have that capability for you, and I'm happy to do that. So anyway, hope everyone's had a good week. I hope everyone is staying comfortable with good weather in your areas. I know I was in DC and it was cold. So I'm glad to be back in, strange enough, Colorado. And right now it's getting close to 55 degrees. I had to brag on that, but I just love our weather here. Anyway, hope everyone has a good week, and just know that you're in my thoughts and prayers, and take care. Bye bye now, and God bless.